It's Dez Kay with you right the way through until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, you're probably thinking, is it 5 o'clock already? No, it isn't. I'm here on a special programme today with a very special guest from Bucks Healthcare NHS Trust. I'd like to welcome for the very first time, and I can't quite believe that, a very good afternoon to my special guest, Karen Bonner.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Karen, and we'll be chatting over the next 45 minutes or so, and playing some of your favourite choices of music as well. And the reason we're doing this, Chief Nurse here at Bucks Healthcare NHS Trust, and you're leaving us. Is it the end of this week?
It is indeed. I leave on Friday, Des.
Friday. You've had a great time here, though. You joined us in, 2020, was it?
I did. I actually started here on the 30th of March 2020, which was 1 week after national lockdown was announced.
Wow. And where are you going?
I'm going back to London. I've worked much of my career in London. I, in fact, live in London. So I'm going back to work in London to work for NHS London as the Regional Chief Nurse for London.
Wow, that is a huge responsibility, that one, isn't it? Wow.
It is. But, I thought I'd go bold to go back to London. But, listen, it's been amazing here at Bucks. It's been a great, just shy of 5 years.
First choice of music this afternoon from Roberta Flack along with Donny Hathaway. Why this? Because you said to me, how difficult it is to choose your favourite songs, and I know that because I've done it in the past. Why this particular track?
Well, you did give me a bit of a task. It was immensely hard. But the reason why is mostly because I grew up listening to this track, or this album, actually. Donny Hathaway has been somebody I think is an unsung hero. And my parents played a lot of music, and I remember particularly his music as a young child, and that's my first sort of early memories of music and records, etc.
My very special guest, Chief Nurse Karen Bonner, MBE, no less as well. That must have been a huge honour for you, Karen, awarded that MBE.
It was just, really exceptional. I think to be honoured for something that you've dedicated your life to is a real privilege, and it was very unexpected when I received the letter, because you get the letter several weeks before the announcement. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Did you go to Buckingham Palace to pick it up, or was it somewhere
We went to
else
Windsor Castle.
Oh,
so
nice.
I actually only went not long ago. I went on the 29th of October. Princess Royal Anne awarded me the MBE. It was a lovely day. The staff were amazing. Everything about it was lovely, even from the security guards to checking your car to going in and helping my mum, who's got a bit of a disability. She's 80, my mum, so she needed a bit of help getting in. It was just an amazing day, and really lovely, and a real moment, particularly for my mum being there in that space. I owe her a lot because she inspired me to go into nursing.
Your mum worked here at Stoke Mandeville many years ago, didn't she?
She did. So when we were young, my parents are from the Windrush generation. I talk about that a lot because it's such an important legacy, and I'm proud to be a descendant of the Windrush generation. My parents met in London. They moved here to Aylesbury, and so as a consequence to bringing us up, they didn't have extended family. My dad worked in the day, and where they could, my mum actually worked here at Stoke Mandeville. She actually came to the UK wanting to be a nurse, but she satisfied that by working as a nursing aide here at Stoke Mandeville Hospital when I was little.
Well, what an honour and what an absolute pleasure for you having your mum there.
Yes.
At Windsor Castle, and I can see that because your father came over to the UK in 1957 from Jamaica, and your mum came from Barbados in 1965. A place I actually have been to, Barbados, many years.
Place.
Oh yeah, absolutely, many years ago. Now, your mum worked as a nursing aide here at Stoke Mandeville. What what was a nursing aide? What was the role in those days?
So it's very similar. It's the same as a sort of a nursing assistant here, or a healthcare support worker, we call them at Bucks. And she was there to support, give the, all the basic care and to support the nurses, the qualified nurses. So she did that for a few years. Interestingly enough, though, my mum then went on to a slightly different career, but then went back to nursing and worked at the Dunstable Hospital for 20 years before she retired as well.
Wow. Well, we'll play your next choice of music for us this afternoon. Then I'm going to give you time to think about the memories that you'll take away from Bucks Healthcare Trust. I'm sure there are many of them. See, we were so busy chatting when that song was playing there. That's Karen Bonner, MBE's second choice of her favourite songs that she's listened to over the years, as that was the first song that Karen bought with her pocket money, and mine, as I was saying earlier on, was, I can't quite believe this actually, considering I'm only 42, Freddie and the Dreamers, and You Were Made for Me. That's definitely going back a while. So I've given you just a couple of minutes really, Karen, to think and reflect of your time here and memories of Bucks Healthcare NHS Trust.
So firstly, there are so many prevailing memories. I mean, starting in the global pandemic was not how I expected to start the job. So that in itself really changed the way things were. And so coming here, I don't know the organisation before that. So in some ways, it was a real privilege to have been able to lead very early on. And I was just prevailing memories of that time, as much as it's difficult and very triggering for lots of people. So apologies if people are triggered by me mentioning that just how amazing the NHS is, how everybody pulled together, the teamwork, the resilience, the going above and beyond. We have so many amazing people working here at Buckinghamshire Healthcare. They're also committed to it because they live in the local population as well. So that's one of my real prevailing memories of having been here. It was an amazing time for seeing that and witnessing how much people did during that really difficult time.
Yeah, I mean, we at the radio station, we managed to keep going during those troubled times. We never lost an hour's broadcasting time, and it was very difficult. I can remember being sat at home in my dining room, and I can link directly into the server here, doing some programs from home, so that was great. I love that when I was doing some research, having a look at Karen Bonner online, I was amazed how many things come up when you Google them. And our Chief Executive Officer here at the Trust, Neil MacDonald, said, "We are so proud to have Karen as part of our team. She thoroughly deserves this recognition." He's talking about your MBE, and not only as a nurse, but as an ambassador for all colleagues and patients as well. That's a great accolade to come from Neil, that, isn't it? You must have felt tremendous when you saw that.
Yeah, I mean, Neil has a great way with words, and I had the joy of working with Neil before, actually. It's my second time with him. I actually worked with him 15 years ago. He was my manager. I actually came to work with Neil, actually. It's one of the draws to working at Bucks, actually. So it's a really great privilege that he said that. And I think, it's nice to be seen in that way, because it's how people see you rather than always how you see yourself. And so, yeah, it was a really nice words that he used for me there.
No, he certainly did. And you do a lot of other things as well. You know, you're heavily involved, I believe, as a volunteer with Prostate Cancer UK. What does that, I know that sounds, a silly question, but what does that involve as far as, because you must be so busy as it is anyway, and then being a volunteer for something different as well. That must be hugely rewarding, but very time consuming as well.
Well, it is, but volunteering is really important. I get a lot of joy from giving my time for what is a really worthy cause. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2010, and we lost him a few short years later. And I was committed at that point to use where I could my platform, my voice, for really campaigning and driving improvements around prostate awareness. And so working with Prostate Cancer UK involves a number of things. Campaigning, I often do some of their campaigns around awareness, particularly in the black community, because you're more likely to get it if you are a black man. And then the other thing is really being there. I do their marches every year. I was at the Christmas Carol concert just last week as well, and work very closely with the Chief Executive on some of the work that we've got to do around the messaging out, particularly to certain groups and communities. So whilst it does feel like a lot, I don't see it as work. I just see it as something that's really important and matters to me. It's in memory of my dad, a legacy of my dad. And so, it's something I really enjoy.
It sounds, excuse me, absolutely wonderful. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of I'll say an advert, but it's not that. And then going to play your third choice of song. And when that's finished, we'll have a chat about why you've picked that song. It's Dez Kay, live from Studio 1 here at Stoke Mandeville Hospital Radio. And you can find us all around the hospital for patients, staff and relatives. And we're on 101.8 FM. And if any of you listening in, all our social media posts went out earlier today. If you do have a question you would like to put to Karen or anything you would like to know, then do drop us an email, and you can send that directly through to me here and Karen in the studio. You can send that to studio@smhr.co.uk.
Hello, it's Anna Dedicote here, the National Lottery's voice of the Bulls and the voice of Strictly, and I'm proud to support Stoke Mandeville Hospital Radio and the work the station does for the patients, staff and visitors.
And I'm sure, Karen, you danced to that over the years in the clubs as well. Luther Vandross and Never Too Much. Why that song?
So, apart from Luther Vandross being, I think, one of the best male vocalists
Agreed.
Of all time, I think he's underrated, would be and I understand there's a documentary coming out shortly, which I'm super excited about. A couple of friends of mine have seen it already. Actually, he was the first concert I ever went to. I was my friend and I got tickets. We were super excited and went down to Wembley Arena on the train, because I was living in Bedfordshire at the time, and went to see him live. And I'm always grateful for that memory and that moment. I'm a big fan of live concerts now and live music, and that was definitely where my love started. And I think Luther's voice is just timeless, and his records are just amazing.
He, for the club scene, as you know, I did that back in the 1970s and that. And, when Luther was breaking, I never had so many requests as I did for Luther Vandross songs in the club. You had Stop to Love, you had that Never Too Much. And he was so popular. But he was, I don't know, never considered mainstream by a lot of people. And I think I probably agree with you that... he was under-recognised because he was a huge talent, that man.
Absolutely. And I think the documentary will reveal, and I'm really looking forward to it, lots of reasons why he himself struggled in the industry. But let's be honest, for many of us who know good music know that he is definitely one of the people to watch, and that's why you also know the value of his voice and what he's contributed, which is great legacy.
It is, and I love the track Dance With My Father.
I love that.
You could just drift away on that, and that just evokes so many memories.
Absolutely.
As well, doesn't it? It's great. If I could just read out here something that again was said on your MBE that you were awarded earlier this year. Dame Ruth May, who was the Chief Nursing Officer for England, said, Karen has made an enormous contribution to the nursing profession over her 30-year career, and I'm pleased to see her recognised with this award. Her work on diversity and inclusion in particular has had a huge impact both locally and nationally. How good is that?
That's amazing. It's always humbling when you read things about yourself in a way that is really hard to describe. Dame Ruth May, who I admire greatly, she's just retired from being the Chief Nursing Officer for England. So I thank her for that comment. equity and diversity and inclusion is really close to my heart. It's something that I have been quite vocal about, driving those improvements, and obviously taking myself as a role model, as a black woman, the role model that I am, very serious. I take my position very seriously around that, and that's really important. So if I can use my voice to make all of the place fairer, the workplace fairer for all people, then that's what I will do.
Wonderful. What do you do, if there is such a thing, in your spare time?
Oh yes, I have spare time. So there's a number of things. Firstly, I love the gym. I love exercising because mentally it does wonders for me. And the other thing I love is live music, and we're sat here today and it's such a privilege to be here. I can't believe I haven't been here before, because I am a real music fan. So apart from that first ticket I bought for Luther Vandross, my first record for Madness, I go to live events. I love live music. I anywhere I can to hear and absorb that is something that I really enjoy. The other thing I love is just the general arts, really. I love going to film shows, anything that's arty, and I'm privileged to be able to do that.
I love live music as well. Looking at me and knowing me as you do, Karen, I've seen a guy 6 times over the last 18 months. Who do you think that would be? Any idea?
6 times?
6 times, and I'm seeing 3 times next year as well.
Oh my gosh. It's got to be somebody really popular, but not popular, but really, really good. Oh, I don't know. Somebody big. It's got to be a big name.
Bruce Springsteen.
I knew it was going to be somebody big. It has to be.
Yeah, I am a huge Springsteen fan.
Times. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have. I'm travelling. Well, Bruce is coming back to finish off the tour in the north of England next year in Manchester and Anfield in Liverpool. So my son is really into Bruce as well, and he was lucky enough. My son, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but I was in Sicily at the time, but my son went to Asbury Park out in New Jersey, which is Bruce's home territory, and he saw a concert on the beach with Bruce and the E Street Band back in September, and unfortunately the dates clashed with me, so I couldn't go. And my son's off to not only with me, but he's off to Milan as well to see Bruce. So we're
I love that.
Bruce Springsteen fans.
Oh, I can hear that. That's amazing. And like you, I like to travel for music, so I do go to Rotterdam, which they have a huge jazz festival. I love that event. Most years I go to that, and that is just amazing because you get to see so many different acts in one place that you can move from tent to tent, from place to place, and absorb yourself in all sorts of different music. And absolutely, it's a real joy to do that. So, and actually travelling to listen and hear from different events is really, and I've been to some of the carnivals abroad as well, which I loved.
Such a great message in that song, Karen, that's for sure. Love's in need of love today, and aren't we all?
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope that's lifted people. Such an important message.
It is. You've won another award since you were kindly awarded the MBE earlier this year, you were telling me. Yeah,
I was written to from the Queen's Nursing Institute, which is one of the oldest institutes. Their role is to really oversee the care in the community, in people's homes. So if we've got thousands of Queen's nurses, we've got quite a lot here at Bucks actually, and I've worked very closely with the Institute. We're actually a member as an organisation, which means we get some membership rights as well. But they wrote to me a few weeks back and offered me a fellowship, of which I kindly accepted and received just a week and a half ago, actually. Got another bit of bling, which is always nice to have. I love a badge, I'm not going to lie. But so I'll get a chance to wear it at some point. But what an honour to be able to, really champion the care in people's homes, our health visitors, our school nurses. I've just out with our immunisation team. It's a real privilege. So thank you very much for the Queen's Nursing Institute for honouring me with that too. And thoroughly deserved as well. What will you be doing over Christmas? I will actually, because I officially start my new role on Monday, the 16th. I've agreed to spend Christmas morning doing some visits out in some of the hospitals in London. I've got 2 visits planned, one of which will be Great Ormond Street, so I get to spend time with some of the children. And then what I will then do once I've done that is I will go over to my family's, to my brother's home, because he's hosting it this year, which is great because I don't have to do anything but just show up. Maybe with something in my hand. I should do that, maybe a bottle or something.
It would be rude not to, really, wouldn't it, that time of the year? Have a fantastic Christmas, and from everybody here at Bucks Healthcare NHS Trust as well, it's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to know you. I've met you on some social occasions, and you've always been absolutely lovely to talk to, and I can see why you've won all the awards. And I think for London hospitals and the chief nurse role that they are very, very lucky to have you, and I think here at Bucks Healthcare Trust we have been as well. So thank you, Karen, for coming in, and thank you for everything you have done during your time here at Bucks Healthcare NHS Trust.
Thank you, Des.